Do you have skills vote? No, you probably don't. I'm gonna have to real quick send skills virus a fucking friend request and get his dumbass invited into the fucking race. I thought he was joining, but apparently not. Skills underscore virus. Which is you, exactly. Send. Yo, my god, that's crazy. Oh. We're sorry for offending you. Yes. Oh, it's Trigger. Oh, we love Trigger. He does. He's a good lad. He's a good lad. Alright, 1 minute.
Out to be an interesting championship competition so far, so let's hope it stays that way for the rest of the season. Well, let's hope we have a bigger attendance than we had last week, which was about 9 drivers.
I don't know.
Some of which were from tier 2 or commentators. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know whether you can see this as well, but P16, the Williams, that is currently on a lap, is apparently Nicholas Latifi.
Nah, man, it's Preston, Brandon 7.
Well, it's Preston for me is now Nicholas Latifi, and Gromit Cup is retired. This is a disaster.
Has joined. I guess they are just changing for some reason. Cool.
Lagged out. Okay.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of new faces, as is always the case, which are gonna try to form obstacles around our championship contenders, which are Preston, Cremo, Jake Marsh, and Rythms, all attending, which is fantastic.
Hopefully they do for the next 4 rounds after this as well.
To be specific, between those 4 people, there's only 17 points. So 1 race worth of points is separating these 4 guys. So interesting stuff about to happen, hopefully. We are expecting it for the season finale to be like the most interesting race, but let's hope Zandvoort can deliver as well. Since time. And Jordy's and Matt Mars. Okay, that's kind of unexpected. Who is Crampton and why is he so good?
Here's the history for Crampton. Crampton has driven in this league before, back in Season 1. Quick driver. It was, in Season 1, a championship battle in the first half of the season between myself, Crampton, and Preston. I then dropped off.
You decided to give up.
Yeah, I dropped off in the second half of the season because I'm dog shit. Crampton, he's a little controversial fella. Me and him had a coming together in Vietnam. He then dropped to the very back of the grid, waited for me to come back around, and thankfully ghosting was on for lap cars, but it was definitely a bit of a visual annoyance. So he's a bit of a controversial figure, but hopefully coming back in now he can do good and keep it nice and fair. Is water under the bridge, as they say. That was back in Season 1. We're in Season 4 now? Or is it Season 3?
Season 3.
Season 3. So yeah, he's returned back to the league, and he's a quick driver, as you can clearly see. As he's currently P1, McLaren looking very strong. So yeah, it'd be good to see what he can do.
Well, I mean, I don't know why drivers even come to this league for one-off appearances, but if he can keep it clean, then I'm completely fine with that. At least the grid is actually somewhat stacked.
Yeah, and there's a lot of
finally.
there's a lot of pretty fast guys in there as well. Some that are new, which I don't really know about, but they could also be quite quick. So it'd be interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, well, let's just hope that our biggest favorites actually complete their laps and don't invalidate them till the end of the session, right, Hims? As he always has the tendency to do 10 laps, but only count the last one. He says he's doing race preparations, but like, what's the point of having quali?
Well, I mean, I suppose it's fair enough because you want to get into a groove of not invalidating and just doing race runs, but he usually does invalidate all of his laps.
Time trial.
I suppose you could say that, but in time trial you don't have the tire wear, so I suppose you're taking most of the session.
That's not my problem. I don't want to be looking at it all the time.
But it's an interesting strategy, and each to their own.
Things.
It's an interesting strategy, and each to their own. As Rightums is in the Mercedes.
Not interesting to commentate on.
Rightums is in the Mercedes. He was a Williams driver, no?
Yeah, but to make the competition more stable, they put him in the Mercedes, and he's going to try to carry Mattmar to some points.
Williams was pretty strong. We've got Jake Marsh in the Ferrari, Mattmar out of Ferrari into Mercedes. And any other changes? Not really. Creame's still in Renault.
It's just 4 people that we're trying to focus on, and then the rest are just obstacles.
Yeah, I suppose they are. Some of the new people that have come in
disappoint us.
Some of the new people that have come in, such as some of the new people that have come in, such as Crompton, could really throw a spanner in the works for these top 4. As you know, he's looking quick. He's currently in P1.
Yeah,
that could be a position.
Could be a very interesting character because he tends to make impulsive decisions when he's bored. Let's just say that diplomatically, and not call it the rude way of just spinning out intentionally.
Well, he threw himself into the wall. Because he was bored of leading. I mean, fair enough. It brought out a safety car, but it was still an interesting race.
I wish Preston could do that when he's bored as well. But look at that, F1 Hub actually beating Crompton with his new time.
Yeah, by about
1:08.3. So the McLarens are going strong so far, but Preston will have something to say about that.
It's purple Scepter 2.
And let's hope Cremo will finally come back in quali, and we won't have to see another struggling.
No.
Oh, there he goes.
Preston runs wide through the final corner and invalidates his lap, but he's going to go again.
Yeah, let's just hope Cremo finds his qualifying pace, because he could have been leading the championship by so much if he just wasn't so unlucky in qualies, because his race pace is probably better than anyone else here. But he just keeps qualifying in these awkward places and starts off on the most awkward strategies that it's
He usually goes for the medium at the end of the session and then fights his way through, which is a really difficult strategy to use because you're on the mediums, you're on the harder tire. You've got to fight through a lot of people, and it won't work on this circuit, as this circuit is quite tricky to overtake at. Your only real overtaking opportunity is down into turn 1, but there are plenty of other areas if you're brave enough to go for a move. But it can be difficult to follow through the dirty air, which hopefully the regulations in 2022 will change and could promote some better racing, as more downforce will be coming from the side pods rather than the front wing and the rear wing.
Right. Let's talk us through more of these engineering hard facts.
Well, I mean, the rear wing for the 2022 car is sort of like a bench. It looks like a bench. It looks like they've just picked up a bench from like a art museum and have just slapped it on the back of the car and done like, yeah, that's good. Because it doesn't look as aerodynamic, like, it doesn't look like it'll generate as much downforce as these current wings. It's very smooth and it looks quite thick, but as that McLaren materialized out of nowhere. It like teleported into the pit lane. I didn't see it come out of the pits. It just suddenly appeared in the pit lane.
Yeah, I always imagined the new cars looking like that scene from Mr. Bean where he just has that sofa up on his car.
Yeah,
And
that
it's
could
just tied down. That looks very similar.
that could generate. Oh Jesus Christ! The F1 hub almost went straight into the back of. Was that Matt? Yeah.
I guess he was bored.
Almost. I don't think it was intentional this time. He almost went into the back of Matmar on his outlap.
Cremo's still not coming out.
No,
I don't know
Cremo,
what's happening, but
Gromit Cup and Cremo are the only ones not to set a lap time, and Gromit Cup hasn't set a lap because he crashed out on his outlap at the start of the session. Everyone else has put laps in, and it's looking pretty good. P11 to P14 are all within 10. Are all in the 110s, and then you've got 2 guys in the 109s. Ryteams actually is a bit further back than I'd expect him to be, and then you've got 8 drivers in the 108s. But he's actually set a lap time though, a 109.3. He's just been put into the pit lane. He's just been put into the pit lane, so he might come out towards the end of the session to put a lap in, as you've got about 7 minutes, just under, left to go in this session.
Yeah, well, great to see that the championship contenders are somehow being challenged, at least, so we won't be seeing the same 4 people at the top places.
Yeah, just on board with skills virus now, and his hands are gone. He has no hands.
What do you mean he has no hands?
He has no hands. He hasn't got any hands.
Oh, I see it.
I'd actually, if that was an option, which I don't think it is, I would race with that, because that looks far better than having hands in the way. Yeah, that would get me 2 tenths a lap if I could drive without any hands.
Yeah, man, that would really add to the Formula 1 realism.
It's a Tesla. It's a Tesla. It's no longer a Red Bull. It's a Tesla.
Right.
Self-driving.
Right.
This is the future of Formula 1, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess you have a point, because they didn't care about it in the older F1 games. When you finish a race, the drivers start celebrating when you finished on the podium, and if there was like a very immediate turn right after the start-finish straight, he would just drive hands-free with him, like, you know, celebrating with his hands, and the wheel would just start turning all over the place.
P2. 108.452. That's slotting in between the McLarens there at the top. That's a very good lap time.
That's pushing Preston, Jake, Rytham's further back.
Preston down in P6.
Actually, Cremo is actually out.
Cremo's on a lap. He's on the soft tyre as well. Actually going for a lap.
That's a very unorthodox strategy. Very unusual from him. Let's see if it works. I hope so. We would love to see Cremo finally doing better in quali, and this would be a perfect opportunity to do so, because all of his opponents, like primary opponents in the standings, are further down, and you can always count on Skills Virus on crashing out somewhere. F1 Hub might be bored of leading, so basically P3 is the new P1.
He's forgotten to put his ERS on, however. And he's not opened his DRS either, so I don't know what he's doing.
Man. He's focusing on a corner, so his exit is actually much better than everyone else. But I don't have an excuse to why he's not using ERS.
No, and
maybe it's like intentional.
It's gonna begin to hamper Jake Marsh.
Oh yeah.
As Jake Marsh is on a fast lap, and if Cremo isn't, Cremo needs to get out of the way, which he does. Jake goes fastest. Really Jake goes fastest in sector 1, but runs wide.
Somebody stop him.
Doesn't invalidate.
Put the Ferrari curse on him.
Doesn't invalidate, however. And let's see, will it be purple in sector 2? No,
well,
it won't be.
He needs to improve by.
No, well, it won't be purple in sector 2. He went wide. He went wide after sector 1. He spun it and he's put it in the wall.
That's the Ferrari curse I was talking about.
There is the normal Ferrari ways. Yes, I think Cremo
coming back to our roots yet again.
Yeah, Cremo into the pits.
I guess
absolutely sends it.
That wasn't speeding at all.
Trigger on a lap. Is he on old tyres? He must be. There's a little bit of lag going on for me. Okay, so Matmar and Preston are on their outlaps.
It's very laggy all the time.
Oh well, that's not good.
Just go closer to your very loud PS4. That might help.
The Boeing 747. That is my PlayStation.
It's fine. Actually, Jordy goes fastest in Sector 2, so maybe somebody will be attacking the higher places finally. And Cremo is actually in the pits again.
Yeah, he just
Does
he
he
just
actually
came.
have enough time to do a time?
He
I'm
should.
doubting.
He should have enough
I'm
time.
doubting that he's actually going out.
Across the line, Jordy doesn't improves by just under a tenth of a second.
Yeah.
Oh, so close to Crumpton in P3.
Down.
So close to Crumpton in P3.
But it's a good starting position. You can always count on somebody sending it into turn 1 once the race starts.
Okay, so Preston start his lap. He's on an lap.
Really
F1 hub.
Pick it up.
Matt Moss starts his lap. Preston
But
has
where's
bailed.
Cremo? Where the hell is Cremo? What is
Still
he
in the
doing?
pits. Still in the pits.
He's just throwing his
He won't make it.
chances away.
He won't make it.
But why
If
is he
doesn't go
doing
now.
this?
I don't know. There's a bit of a traffic jam going on in Sector 1.
I don't understand Cremo's philosophy here. He's second in the championship. What the hell is he doing? Stop scrolling on Instagram, man.
Matt Marr had to bail on his lap. He got blocked a little bit by...
He's going out now, but I doubt that he has enough time to actually start a lap.
1 minute and 25 seconds. Lap times, the longest lap time we have currently is a 1:10. So he could make it. He should actually. He should. By the skin of his teeth, he should make it. But let's hope. Anyway, it's getting busy out there. F1 Hub's about to come across the line to start his lap. Preston across the line.
Being serious about these
to start
laps.
his next lap.
Just waiting. Everyone is just waiting.
Yeah, Crumpton's on his out lap. Skills Virus has bailed on his lap and will go again.
Yeah, Cremo's time will be very close.
Matt Marr was over. Yeah, Matt Marr goes again. He started his lap to go again. Jake Marsh is on his out lap. Herod's on a lap. Rye Timms is on a lap. Halfboy is on a lap.
The finale might be more interesting than the rest of quali so far. Yeah. Let's hope.
Let's see what Halfboy will do across the line. He's on his out lap to start his lap. So Samuel. Yeah, Rye Timms is about to cross the line to set a time, and it's improvement up to P5, just ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, but there's still much more improvement from everyone else to do.
Yeah, we've got F1 Hub coming.
Across the line will be F1 Hub, and then there will be Preston probably, and then
Herod.
Oh
no! Big mistake from F1 Hub, but he's in the wall. He made a massive mistake, and he's blocking. He's ruining everyone else's laps. He's blocking the circuit. His car is blocking the circuit. They can't. Yeah.
Anyway,
Matt Marr has to bail on his lap.
Oh, come on! What was that?
He got himself on the curb. No, it was a big mistake. I caught it on my stream. He got himself all out of shape on the curb and sent himself flying into the barrier. He was pushing just too hard. Yeah, the car's gone now, so people can push again, but too little, too late for Matt Marr. Unfortunately, he had to bail on his lap.
And Cremo is actually going out on
Jake
the medium,
Marsh,
so
7th.
Back to his roots.
Yeah.
Right, Cremo's time will be very crucial.
11th.
And it's
11th.
only P11.
Yeah, and that's it. Crumpton's still on lap. Oh no, he's just finished. Never mind. Game lied to me. But no, big mistake from F1 Hub, which I suppose. I mean, Preston, he went in through to improve anyway, but it was definitely a mistake. There's no question about it. It was a mistake. You can't say that it was very convenient for him as it ruined everyone else's laps that were coming through because his car was unghosted and stricken on the racing line. But no, it wasn't deliberate. It was definitely a mistake. He just pushed too hard through the final corner, got it on the curb, and when you try and put the power down on the curb, you're gonna die. And so he tried to correct. Car almost went to the right, overcorrected, and sent himself into the barrier, which then bounced him back onto the circuit and blocked other people. So a dramatic ending to that qualifying session. The top three separated by less than a tenth of a second. And Skillsvar is very close, just over a tenth of a second. But that's massively close, really close between those guys.
At least the pace is kind of similar and competitive, but Preston has a fantastic position to strengthen his lead on the championship with his main contender Cremo down in P11.
Yeah,
Always
an interesting
on doing
strategy.
The same strategy all the time. It doesn't work on every circuit, man. Why do you keep doing it?
He's gone for the mediums, so he'll be looking. I don't think it'll work, to be honest. During the alternate strategy here, it'll give you track. Yeah, it'll give you track position in the long run. But when you box again for the softs, sure you'll have the faster tire, but you'll also be down the order and trying to get past people. I suppose he could improve upon his position that he's currently in, but in quali he certainly could have got a much better position if he just qualied on the soft tire. It's an interesting strategy that he uses. It works at some circuits, but for this one it's not a strategy to use.
Let's hope he proves us wrong.
Yeah, that's always a possibility, as we are waiting to get going.
Do we still have the challenge
Crampton's gone.
that we should have?
Crampton's gone.
That nobody should disqualify. Nobody should do a DSQ in the formation lap, or are we not doing it?
Pressing slower across the line. I don't know whether we're doing that or not, but Crampton has left the session.
So Cremo, the man, and Trigger starting on mediums. The rest are starting on the softs, and it looks like people are not disqualifying themselves yet. Oh, there we go. Ghosting is on. That's probably nobody's disqualifying. Reason.
F1 Hub is stopped on circuit and got disqualified. So there's the predicted pit stop strategy. So apparently it's supposed to be a 2-stop here. That strategy could work, but could is the key word there. It's we're yet to see it, but everyone else has opted to go for the soft tire, so it doesn't bode well for that strategy.
Yeah, since everybody will have better pace than those 3 outsiders on the mediums, they're gonna play a really hard catch-up, which is something you don't want to do when you're under pressure of finally taking the championship lead, like Cremo is, for example. That's just not good. Preston is in a fantastic position. He's 4 places above his next contender, which is Jake Marsh, then it's Rythems, and then Cremo with a further obstacle ahead of him.
Well,
so Preston just has to stay patient until F1 Hub decides to send it into the wall again, and then Preston will be in the lead. Inevitably.
He won't really have too much pressure coming from P3 Crumpton, as Crumpton left the session, so it's just his ghost. So
fantastic.
Skills Virus will be the next person behind Preston that could really challenge him into T1. Crumpton, in every sense of the word, is now an obstacle. And we are getting ready.
The race start then.
Indeed.
That's a fantastic camera.
Yeah, we love seeing turn 2.
Alright, 3, 4, and 5 lights. First and forward as Crampton joined. We are underway and 2 people already jumpstart. That is fantastic. And the scoreboard is glitching again. Let's not worry too much about that. But Preston is somehow in the lead. One of the McLarens is a ghost. So Preston inherits the lead just naturally. That was a Ferrari spinning out. That's a Red Bull out. That was Skills Virus. That was kind of inevitable, wasn't it? Okay, so we have a Alfa Romeo out. That's probably the man. He was in a collision with Skills Virus, and then also one Ferrari, which is Gromit Cup, just got annihilated as well. Going into turn 1, and then the rest seems fine. F1 Hub is still P2. Then we have Jordy Rythems and Jake Marsh all gone up 2 places. Cremo also gone up 2 places thanks to the collision, but no big position changes just yet. I guess the front of the pack will be focusing on just running away as fast as possible, and that's a freeway fight going into the second DRS straight. Trigger in the fight with Crampton and Samuel, and Trigger actually makes up 2 positions in the process on the worst compound of tire. That's a ghost car. And okay, on the mediums, Trigger is actually charging through the field. I did not expect that, but what happened to Crampton? Oh, look at that, move for the lead. F1 Hub going into the inside. He's now a ghost car, never mind. Into turn 1, both of these guys on the soft, so equal playing ground so far. And F1 Hub gets
makes the move.
P1, but he is a ghost, so I do not understand what the hell is going on at this stage.
No, I don't know what's going on either.
What's
It says
going
he's a
on?
ghost, but he's actually driving. It's not his AI. He's just ghosted for some reason.
I'm very confused, and also next
says
to
he's
the
in
track there are
P4?
blue flags waving.
It says
What
he's in
the hell?
P4. So a bit.
The scoreboard is glitching.
Okay,
again,
no, it's
don't
fine
mind
now.
that.
It's fine now. It's fine now. He's solid now.
Just look at the minimap. That's your main
Yeah,
priority
so-
right now.
Skills Virus is DNF'd. Bad
Inevitably.
race for him. Which promotes Geordie up to P3. Writings is up to 4th. With Jake Marsh in 5th. Herrod's actually having a good race along with Halfboy. Halfboy has had a great start to get up to 7th. Creamer is well up to 9th. And he's looking pretty solid to go forward in this race. On the back of Matmar.
Yeah. The guys that jump-started were Gromit, Cup, and Illuminate, by the way. But Preston will be under a lot of pressure right now to keep the 1 second window until the end of lap 3. Because that's when he can use the DRS actually effectively. And it's now more than 8 tenths, so he's under a lot of pressure to keep the 1 second window going. Otherwise, he can very easily catch F1 Hub. He won't be able to after he goes away, but
should close in a bit more once if he stays within the DRS window. When he gets to that DRS section coming up just ahead of us, he should be able to close the gap in, and we might have F1 Hub has made a mistake and he's out. He's in the wall.
Oh, not again.
He's lost. He lost the rear. He lost the rear coming out of the corner.
And the safety car though.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does he keep crashing out, man?
I don't
When
know.
he
I
joined the
think
league, he was on the podium, almost won the race, almost
it's
won the
just,
next one, and then he just keeps crashing out all the time.
I don't know whether that was deliberate or mistake, because it just looked like he just lost the rear coming out of the corner under
He
no
was
pressure
leading
at
again.
all.
He was leading again.
And that's
so
a disaster
he
for
could've-
McLaren. From a sort of 1-3 start to 13th, a DNF and 15th.
Preston faking a pit stop. Okay. Never
Let's see if
mind.
anyone goes in. Is there anyone boxing? Okay, so Halfboy, his pit. He's
Yeah,
pitting
so
onto the mediums.
somehow. So okay, Cremo will get P7, so he's further up the grid, but just somehow, just by existing, Rythims and Jake Marsh are P3 and 4, so Preston actually lost some valuable points. The obstacles he had between himself and the other contenders are just basically taking each other out. He has nobody to throw between his opponents. It's only Geordie, and I don't know, it's just a matter of time until he gets overtaken, and it becomes a full-on championship fight yet again.
It's good to see these guys up running at the front of the grid, keeping the championship battle alive. Because that's what we want. We want a championship battle that goes down to the wire. We don't want to know who the champion is going to be until the very last race. Until the very last lap as well.
Spoiler alert, it's gonna be Preston.
Probably. He's hunting for his second championship win after his first in Season 1. And he's currently leading this race and the championship. Geordie's in second, Wrighting's third, Jake Marsh fourth, and
we
Herod
lost
fifth.
half our viewers after the stream. After the race started.
Well, that's interesting.
Explain how did we lose 5 viewers?
I guess
after
people don't want to
turn
watch the
one.
race. Is that Jake Marsh faking to go into the pit lane?
I guess we're not interesting.
I suppose we're not. And Chesney Gromit Cup, third Prince of Kyrgyzstan, to catch up with the field. And then we will go racing again. So I think it'll be green at the end of this lap. Provided Gromit Cup can catch up.
This actually extends the stint for soft tire runners a little bit, since the tire wear isn't so dramatic during safety
one
cars.
stop for the mediums could possibly be possible, but I don't know. I think some of the people that pitted onto the mediums then probably made the right move. Go onto the mediums, do a long stint, and then have the soft tires to the end of the session. So that could work. Fresher tyres. Everyone else will have to pit. They'll have track position, clean air, and then they'll box again. Whilst everyone else will probably have to box again as well.
Sorry, your voice is really lagging.
Oh, I don't know why.
You are really lagging. You start speaking a sentence and then just in the middle of it, it's just gibberish.
Oh, why? Internet sucks.
Well, safety car will be going in this lap, so finally we will have some clean racing.